All right, so move on to the next segment. I'll be sharing my AFC contenders or pretenders list in this segment. So, all teams that are currently at 500 or above 500 will be discussed in this segment. If your team is a bottom feeder, no point in listening to this segment unless you're interested in the rest of the teams in the AFC and my opinion on them. But let's get started on the list. Contender, the New England Patriots. They are contenders. They have my respect. They are 10-2, first place in the AFC East, a 3-game lead in the AFC East, mind you, with the Buffalo Bills. They were actually my sleeper pick, my sleeper team heading into the NFL season. Did I think they would be 10-2? Hell no. But I thought they would be 9-8 or better, knocking on the door for one of the wild card spots in the AFC. But man, they're blowing me away. Now, people complain about their schedule, saying they have a cupcake schedule. But at the end of the day, guys, you can only play who's on your schedule. And nobody knew that the New England Patriots were going to be 10-2 heading into Week 13 of this year's NFL season. But they did beat some good teams that they did play. I mean, they did beat the Buffalo Bills. They did beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Mike Vrabel has rebuilt the foundation in New England, and they're winning football. They're a winning football organization and a culture once again. Drake May has played up to par in his sophomore season. Made a really outstanding jump from a rookie to a sophomore. I mean, he looks poised. He looks confident. He's getting reactions out of your favorite ESPN analysts. But as I digress, I think the New England Patriots are a real NFL team, and you have to consider them as contenders or at the midway point of the NFL season. Next team, the Buffalo Bills. I know I said contenders and pretenders on this segment, but I'm going to consider the Bills as tweeners. I think the Bills are tweeners. They're not a contender or a pretender in my eye. And yeah, you got to consider them contenders because they have Josh Allen, one of the best quarterbacks in the league. He has that playoff experience once we get there. But honestly, it's like a mix of both this NFL season. I lean to them being a contender and I lean to them being a pretender. I still don't know who the hell the Buffalo Bills really are this NFL season. They are 7-4. They are second place in the AFC East. They have some marquee victories. I mean, they defeated Lamar Jackson of the Baltimore Ravens, having a huge comeback Week 1 in Sunday Night Football. They defeated the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes and company at home. They defeated the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield and company. I mean, I think there's a pretty good football team still. But then you look at the losses, and that really makes me think, who the hell are the Buffalo Bills? You lose to Davis Mills and the Houston Texans on the road in Thursday Night Football. You lose to Michael Penix and the sorry Atlanta Falcons, and you lose to the Miami Dolphins and Tua Tagovailoa and company. The wins look sexy, but then the losses look horrible and atrocious. I just don't know who the hell the Buffalo Bills really are this point in the NFL season. So I'm going to call them tweeners until they can change my mind to be a contender or a pretender. Next, the Baltimore Ravens. I'm going to consider them a tweener as well. Now, the Ravens are 6-5, first place in AFC North, but I'm still trying to figure out who the hell the Ravens are. I give them credit for winning 5 games in a row. The defense has improved because they were one of the worst defensive units in football until they turned things around. The issue is, I don't know if I still believe fully in them or not. Yes, just like the Buffalo Bills, they have a chance to make noise in the playoffs because you got Lamar Jackson, a 2-time MVP. He's been to the AFC Championship before. He's got the playoff experience. But what elite teams have they beat all year long other than the Chicago Bears that are 8-3? They've had a favorable schedule during the winning streak. The Vikings, the Dolphins, the Jets, the Browns. I mean, you only beat one team above 500, and they're not going to be tested for another couple weeks. So I still don't know who the Ravens are. I think it's appropriate to put them as a tweener in this segment. Oh, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pretenders. First pretender on the list. I have not been sold on the Pittsburgh Steelers all year long. They're 6-5, second place in the AFC North, and they started off the season 4-1. I wasn't high on this team heading into the season. During the spring, you traded away George Pickens to the Dallas Cowboys, about to become an All-Pro. You trade for DK Metcalf, and DK Metcalf hasn't been an X factor for this Pittsburgh Steelers team. Under 600 receiving yards this year. The rest of the wide receiver room really isn't that good. Aaron Rodgers has not really been a difference maker for this Pittsburgh Steelers team all year long. They have the most expensive defense in the league. They got players on the defensive side of the ball, but they've underachieved all year long. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, when you think about it, the best they could do this year is possibly go 9-8 and get lucky to get a final wild card spot. Other than that, they're going to get the belt to ass treatment because they ain't beating nobody in the AFC in the playoffs. Other than that, I have nothing else to say about the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're pretenders in my eyes. Indianapolis Colts. I consider them as contenders. They are 8-3, first place in the AFC South. Really competitive football team this year. They had a few hiccups, losing some road games against the Kansas City Chiefs this past Sunday, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Los Angeles Rams. Other than that, I think they're a really good football team. They have offensive talent to make a run. It just depends on which Daniel Jones we're going to see. The Daniel Jones of new or the Daniel Jones of old come playoff team, whether they win their division or get a wild card spot. They'll be in the playoffs, but we'll see what type of time Daniel Jones is on when we get to the NFL playoffs. Ooh, this one's tough. Jacksonville Jaguars, I'm actually going to call them pretenders. I was high on them early in the season, but I think overall they're pretenders. I'm not sure if this team is ready to fully make the jump just yet. They are 7-4. Before we even think about playoffs for the Jaguars, they'll still have 4 divisional games left. I know they play the Titans twice, but it's divisional football. You still got to play the Colts twice. That could be your downfall. And you still got to play the Broncos. So those 5 games, 4 to 5 games, could actually determine how the Jacksonville Jaguars finish the season, if they'll make the postseason or not. But I just don't like their chances matching up against a loaded AFC conference if they make the playoffs. So I'm going to consider them pretenders. Houston Texans. Hello, contenders. The Houston Texans have caught my eye. I think they're contenders, and I think this is honestly a team that nobody in the AFC is going to want to see come playoff time. With that defense, you have a chance. And I would do anything for my Dallas Cowboys to have a defense like that. But the defense just has no flaws in it. I mean, the defensive line is good. They got a good linebacking room. The DBs are all over the place. They make plays. They hit hard. They're a violent defense led by DeMeco Ryans, their head coach. I mean, the pass rush led by Will Anderson and company is very dangerous. And they've won 3 games with Davis Mills as their starting quarterback, as CJ Stroud has missed time due to an injury. So, again, this could be a team that nobody's going to want to play. They're 7-4, and they honestly have a chance to win the AFC South still with time left in the season. But, yeah, I think the Houston Texans are a very dangerous team that nobody's going to want to play. Contenders. Denver Broncos. I think the Broncos are contenders. They're 9-2. First place in the AFC West. They have the chance to win their division for the first time since 2015. The last time they won it all with Peyton Manning and company, a really good defense led by DeMarcus Ware and Von Miller, etc. But I think Bo Nix has shown a lot of growth in his sophomore season. They got a really good defense. But other than that, the Broncos have actually been very clutch in one-possession games. They won 5 one-possession games this year. Big comebacks against the Philadelphia Eagles, down by 18 on the road. A big home victory against the New York Giants where they trailed 26-8 with 5 minutes left in the ball game. I like everything that I'm seeing by the Denver Broncos thus far. Los Angeles Chargers, I'm going to consider them tweeners. They are 7-4, but I do not believe they have a chance to win in the postseason if the defense can't play well. They got the quarterback, they got the head coach, yes, they can run the football, but you're going to need an offensive line to protect Herbert when it matters most, and there's a lot of good pass rushes in the AFC conference come playoff time. If they have to settle for a wild card spot, I don't like their chances, and I think there could be in principal's office trouble in the first round. So I consider them tweeners right now. And last but not least, the Kansas City Chiefs. I think they're tweeners as well. 6-5, third place in the AFC West. Uncomfortable situation for them because they've been the kings of the AFC West for nearly a decade now, winning that division. They're not a perfect team, but they still have my respect because anything can happen because Patrick Mahomes has won 3 Super Bowls. You can never count them out with all the championship experience that they have. Championship experience runs in their DNA at this point. Running game has been slacking all year long. I think they should pick it up in the second half of the season. Offense has not been perfect. not a good road team. They're 1-4 on the road. Ugly losses in close games this season. Hell, all 5 of their losses have been in one-possession games. And they were a picture-perfect team, 12-0, 13-0 in one-possession games last year. They're not the same team in one-possession games. I think the Chiefs have to be considered tweeners. But that is my AFC contenders or pretenders list this NFL season.